Yeah, we got Kate, a.k.a. Big Daddy, on the podcast, who has become the biggest TikTok influencer in the state of New Jersey and just putting Hoboken on the map. We did a deep dive into her story, what it takes to be an influencer, the behind the scenes of an influencer, and much, much more. So, let's get into it.
You know where you are!
This is the OutliersPodcast. Let's go! Thank you for, doing this.
Yeah,
I know
of course.
You're super busy.
I'm busy, but I'm also like, I say this to people all the time, I will do anything for people in Hoboken. It does not matter. Mm-hmm. It just feels right. It feels good. And it's like, it's very different, mm-hmm. than any of the other work that I do. Plus, it's like, I've known you for years now, It's kind of wild, huh? You were the first person that ever was like, yeah, come in. I'll give you some bagels. And I'm like, whoa. I remember turning to Connor and being like, we're getting free stuff.
Now we're getting huge brand deals. And I was like, here's a $5 sandwich.
I was pumped. But
yeah.
I think it's the same thing. I'm always pumped for any of those opportunities, because you never know what it's gonna turn into, and it's not to have that mindset when you're starting, but I think it's human connection and being a person and finding that connection with someone is so important. I talk about that with Connor all the time, with what he does at work too. I'm like, just being yourself and finding level ground with people and things you have in common, it is so important for just anything in life, I think.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, that's what I love about the hospitality industry.
Yeah.
I'm just focusing around people in the food and beverage industry because I just love it so much.
Yeah.
And that's why I have someone like yourself being a part of this, and I have other investors and foodies and chefs and restaurateurs, because I think it's an industry that needs to have more time and attention towards.
Totally.
When you first started, was there any intention when you started it, or was it just let me have fun with this? Was it TikTok specific was your first step?
TikTok
or what was
my first step, and it was during the pandemic where obviously we were all at home.
Yeah.
We were just
bored out of our minds.
Yeah, bored out of our minds, staying inside. And I had downloaded TikTok, I think that November or maybe December, previous, so 2019. And I remember sitting with two of my girlfriends and just being like, what the hell is this app? What? We couldn't figure it out. And I was like, okay, whatever. And then I started going on it and scrolling more and more and more, doing all the dance things. And I just remember sitting there being like, I want to be TikTok famous. Mm-hmm. And do I think that I'm TikTok famous? No, I don't think I'm famous at all. Mm-hmm. I don't think that...
In that category you are, but it's okay. I respect the humility.
I mean, I really don't think so. I think that there's a level to it. And do I think that I'm known by some people? Sure, but I don't think it's fame whatsoever. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. And I do think that there are people on the platform, like a Charlie D'Amelio, who is famous.
Fair.
Yeah, so I think it's levels. There's tiers. I mean... But I don't. But also,
there's an incubator of West Coast and East Coast, though.
Yeah,
I feel like the West Coast is a little bit easier to get into that, right? The incubator of the California, rather than Jersey and New York.
I also think it's just what you want to do.
Fair, what your objective is.
Yeah, what is, because, like you said, was there intentions behind this, and maybe subconsciously there was some kind of objective in my mind, but I hadn't, I said as a joking way. I remember one of my old coworkers gave me a shirt for Christmas because we were doing a little Secret Santa that said TikTok famous. I was being funny about it and wanting to just post and do whatever. And I didn't know I didn't know it would get to this point. I never intended it for this to be my full-time job ever.
What would you have told yourself then? Now, would you have anything that you have done differently? Or speak on behalf of?
No, because like I said, I had no idea that this was going to turn into what it has become and run a business. Because I think that that's where sometimes people think we're just posting videos online, but
you're a business.
I'm a business. I'm a full blown business. With my managers, with CPAs, with strategy, with all these things, and I think that that's where it's there's a lot that goes into it, and I think that people just see us doing whatever online, which is fair, fine, but there's so much thought that goes into kind of everything. There's and it's not to say that it's not organic, but it really is like, it's not one of these things like we're thinking about. I've been building a website for literally a year, and like no one's known that.
Yeah,
like,
there's a lot of things behind the scenes.
That no one knows, and there's a lot of effort that goes into all of that stuff. And even just like, I've been thinking about this idea, and I'm not going to share it because I want to write it down. I shared it with a friend the other day, but I've been thinking about this idea, and I think I'm going to do it. Like, I just need to figure out how I'm going to do it. But like, even that stuff, there's like always like the next thing. There's so much more that goes into what people just see online, you know?
For sure.
And even just like branded stuff too. Like the fact that like when you get a contract for branded content, there's deliverables, there's like the one that I just did, you get on a call and they literally go through the whole deck, and there's like all these things you can do, you can't do. You can't wear branded clothing.
It's an assignment.
Like, there's
like, you gotta do this.
Yeah, there's a lot that goes into it. But it is the best. Like, it is honestly the most fulfilling thing I've ever done in my entire life. It is so much fun. I love being creative. I love the creative freedom that most brands provide, like just being like able to reach your audience, and like they're trusting in that. And I think that's so cool. But yeah, I'm just honestly, at the end of the day, I'm just like, I have so much gratitude, and it's just fucking sick. Like,
yeah.
I'm just like, I pinch myself every morning. I'm like, this is my life, you know?
And I think it translates. I think you're creating this beautiful harmony between confidence and humility.
Yeah.
I respect that about you and admire that about you, because it's very difficult to find that perfect harmony of like cruise control and be confident in your own skin and be like, I am special, but I don't think I'm better than the next person.
Right.
I'm grateful for my opportunities.
Right.
But it's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And there's certain things you don't want to do, and that's okay. You're setting parameters and borders. You said about you being a business. It's funny again that when you're saying that, I immediately think to myself, when you were in that in between doing this content and it was starting to blow up, and then you were also at a full-time job, and then you were like a salon, I think. Like, at what moment made you be like, fuck it, I got to go full-time on this? Like, what was that transition, that time period like?
I think when I was working my full-time job, I said to myself, if I double my salary with brand deals, then I will quit my job. But then you get to that point, and I got to that point, and I was like, what is the sustainability with this? Because it's not, because one, like, and I'm glad I did it the way that I did it, because you need to have like that money in the bank, because what I didn't realize is, one, starting, I didn't realize taxes. Two, I legit did.
Fair, yeah,
like, you would never, like, that's one thing. And I remember like one of my coworkers at my old job, he was like, just make sure you are saving enough for taxes. He goes, if anything, Kate, please just like make sure.
Because you're 1099.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like you're getting like a salary tax. Yeah.
Yeah, so you're like, okay. And so I like literally didn't touch any money that came through the first like probably 6 months, and I just like let it sit there, which was great, because there's also that pushback. Like, you'll get a brand deal, and then depending on the agency, depending on the brand, depending on whatever, it's either like net 30, net 60, or net 90, which means you have to wait 30, 60, or 90 days until you get paid, until the content goes live. So you could book something. For example, I am working with this brand right now. We're booked, but we have not shot the content. And this has been like, the conversation has been going on since November.
Whoa.
Right? So.
And it was agreed upon in November? Or it's still like back and forth?
I think it's back and forth now, but like the agreement's in like my manager's hands. And so they're like going through the contract and all this stuff. But after I post the content, which will probably be early March, I won't get paid for that until 30. I didn't see the contract, so I don't know. 30, 60, or 90 days after the content goes live, which means like you need to have money saved up. You need to have something in the bank to like live and be able to pay all your bills and pay all that stuff. So when I started thinking about how I could do this like full time, one thing was, I said, once I doubled my salary, which I did.
You mean like 1 to 2? Like, say if you make $1, you have to make $2 in content, or just 1 and 1?
What do you mean?
So like you make $1 in your salary, and then you want to make sure you got $1 for content, or you want to make sure you had $2?
No, I was like, I had my salary at my corporate job. I wanted to
legit double that. Props, dude. Savage. Okay.
And so I did that.
That's a hell of a goal.
So I did it.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, can I then I was like, can I actually like sustain this? And actually my grandma's boyfriend, they're like in their 80s, they're like 84 or 85.
It's a hot old couple. Hell yeah.
Yeah, no, they're great and they're amazing together. But he asked me, he was like, do you like, what's the sustainability in this? And to me, really, it's like, I think what you put into it is what you get out of it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's like anything.
It's like anything. It's like you constantly have to like be going with the times. You can't like fall back on things, and not reinventing the wheel with yourself and like becoming a new person, but like staying up to date with things and like putting that effort in, because once you stop that, and also it's like, again, what we just talked about, what do you want out of it? Like, what do I want out of all of this? And I think it's like to create something that is sustainable and continuing to do that, whether it is with videos and like paid partnerships and like all this stuff and working with like incredible companies, or doing something on my own, or, like just anything. Mm-hmm. So then I quit my job and I worked part-time at this salon in New Jersey, Portrait Salon, shout out, because they're just the best. Mm-hmm. It's my best friend's mom's salon, and I was like freaking out. I quit my job and I was like, what the fuck did I just do? And my mom was like, Kate, what did you just do? And I was like, she's like, your health insurance. I was like, I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
I'll figure it out. And I think almost like once you allow yourself, and I also think it's very different. Like, I'm not married. I mean, obviously I've been with Connor for almost 7 years now, and we're at that place now. Yeah. But like, I'm not married. I don't have kids, so like the only real responsibility is myself. So I think like with the timing of that too, I'm like, why not take a chance on myself and see where it goes, because I could always get back into fashion. I could always do something. And I took a chance on myself. And I really believe that once you do that, you quantum leap. There is no better time to do that than right now. And that's how I felt. And then I worked at the salon for a little bit, and then paid partnerships really just like kicked into high gear once. And I had been with my managers for about 6 months at that point. And it takes a little bit of time, like in between signing with management and kind of like getting to like know each other and all that stuff. But they're the best. Like the people that have my back are literally the most incredible, down to earth, good to the core people that will just do what's best for you and not money driven, which I really appreciate, because like I feel like you can't, your intention shouldn't be to get just like paid, like I think that there should be something like better to that core, and mine is to help people. And that's what I feel like I'm really doing. And I just feel like it's the most, like I said, what did I say before? I forget.
No, you were saying a lot of beautiful things. The most important aspect to you is to try to help people.
Yeah, but
and then when regards to your business partners, your managers, that they're mutually do you want to make sure that whoever you teamed up with knows that there's a mutual benefit between each other?
Yeah.
It's not just money driven.
No.
It's like, hey, let's set up Kate for success that makes him happy.
Yeah.
Makes her happy and makes her thrive.
And I feel like that's also like what causes things to be sustainable too,
Yeah.
with good intention, I think.
For sure. I think it's beautifully said. I loved what you said about leaving your job of the quantum jump and really just going for it and believing in yourself. Because I think sometimes a lot of people just they get stuck with their golden handcuffs.
Yeah. No one else is going to believe in you the way that you believe in you.
That's a fact. I've always tried to invest in other things. I'm not good at investing besides investing in myself.
Yeah.
That's what I'm big on. And I think you obviously did the same thing.
Yeah.
How intimidating was going through like the manager process? Like, what was that like? Did they reach out to you? What was that?
No, I was on a podcast, and at that point, I think I had 30,000 followers on Instagram, and I think I was just about at 1 million followers on TikTok, and this was in 2021. So I had been doing it for like a full year, not getting paid for it. So keep that in mind. I had almost 1 million followers on.
You were just dancing
on TikTok.
Yeah.
I was eating. I was just being goofy.
Yeah.
Like seriously, it's just what I'm doing fun now. And was not getting paid for anything. I think I got one brand partnership, and it was like a beer company. And it was like, I literally was like amazed when I saw what they wanted to pay me. I was like, whoa. I'm like, that's crazy. I was like, no way. That's like what I make in a month at my old job. And I was on this podcast, and she was like, are you monetizing? And I was like, no, I'm not. I'm just having fun. I'm just doing whatever. And she was like, you should meet with my management.
Who was this?
this girl is Cameron Rogers.
She's like an influencer or
Yeah,
something?
she's an influencer.
Okay, so you met this influencer and she's...
Yeah, and so I was on her podcast, and she was asking me if I was monetizing at that point, and I wasn't. And so she was like, you should meet with my management, and I did, and we hit it off. And I think it's one thing to have confidence in yourself and to believe in yourself, but when I tell you that the closest people to me at the time not necessarily didn't believe in me, they just thought I was crazy. And it's obviously a really unconventional job and just like weird industry to kind of get into. And it's still newish, you know? I mean, I feel like they had the wave of YouTube and Vine, but like this new wave of marketing with content creating now is so different, I feel like, from even then. You know, it's like, it's people being more real. It's not these like perfect pictures or perfect whatever. It's not showing that anymore. You know, people want real. So I met with them and I told them my numbers and I told them all this stuff. And they were like, I was like, do you think I could do this full time and like make a living and like be okay? And they literally like dead in the eyes were like, Kate, you're going to be so successful. And I was like, that's all I needed. I needed like just someone, and they didn't even know me. And so just someone to believe in me, because Connor, my mom, my sister, my best friends, they're all like,
what are you doing?
What are you doing? Like, what are you doing? You know? Yeah, so I believed in myself and they believed in me, and they are just, I truly don't think I would be I know I would not be here without them. Like, I know I would not be in the position that I'm in the place that I'm in, making the content that I am continuing to make today without them, because they are the most supportive people ever.
But I also think it's also because of you too. I mean, I agree. That's a beautiful thing that God or this energy or whatever it may be created fate for you to meet the management company.
Yeah.
But also massive props to you of course your family and your loved ones support you the most.
Yeah.
But at the time, they're not doing it because they don't believe in you. They're doing it because like they're almost like fearful and trying to protect you.
Yeah.
But the fact that you're able to actually jump out and do something and believe in yourself, I give you a lot of credit, because I think that's what's the hardest thing sometimes. Even when I think of some different ideas, I even internalize and get anxiety about it. And then when I talk to some people, they support me.
Yeah.
So I couldn't imagine if everyone else around me was like, nah, what are you doing?
Yeah.
But like was there anything specific that was there a point within your content journey, they're like, oh, I have something here?
I think with management, when I signed my first couple of contracts with them, and like one of my contracts was literally my old salary, like for the year, and I was like, okay.
Dude, that's fucking crazy.
Yeah. I was like, okay.
But that's props to you with that. And is there any specific time that now that you've had this career and it's only continued to flourish and grow, what are you the most proud of looking back?
Oh, what am I the most proud of? It's like it's weird. It's not a partnership or anything like that. I think it's just evolving with the business. Like, that's what I'm the most proud of. I have learned so much stuff. It has nothing to do with the money I've made, like what partnerships we got. It's really just understanding, I think, more of life. I've learned more about like finances and how to take care of myself and how to do things like within a business, where I would have never known this. Also, just like sticking up for myself and my feelings and like how I feel creatively, you know, because I was at this job before, and at a corporate position, you are working yourself up, you're working your way up, you are bottom of the totem pole, and that's how I was. And just being able to have creative freedom doing this, I think it's just so rewarding, you know, to be able to like
live.
Yeah, and just do and like truly have fun. Like, I am having the most fun. I'm living the dream, like beyond. And I would never, ever take that for granted. I have so much gratitude. It's literally unreal.
I believe it. I feel like, when did the like Big Daddies thing come about?
That was a college thing. Like, my friends and I used to say it. I have videos from like 2015. Yeah.
You just ran with it.
And
it's just like one of your terminologies.
Like, I remember like turning to Aubrey and being like at the old apartment being like, I just want to have a catchphrase or whatever. I just like, what? And we were like going through stuff, and she's like, hey, that's like not it. And then one day I was like, I'm going to take a Big Daddy bite. And we had been saying it, but like not enough, like my friend group, but I have videos of like us saying it. And it's just stuck. it just stuck. So
That's why it almost seems like if you look back on everything, do you feel like you almost like manifested all of this without even knowing you did?
I also just like in my bones knew that I was meant for something not bigger and like not like whatever, but I knew that I wanted to do something that would, I guess, help people. And it's so full circle with my eating disorder and like the recovery process and everything. Like, who would have thought that the thing that like tore me down for so much of my life is the thing that like gave me this incredible career. You know what I'm saying? Like that's where it's so full circle for me, but I always have known that I've wanted to help people. So it's just...
Is that where the full transparency comes in? Because I give you a lot of credit for that.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean...
Was it always like that, or when did you start being super transparent? I think at first you were always. That's just like the type of person you are. You're like, fuck it.
I literally was just talking with the girl that I went to an event this morning, and I was talking to one of the girls from the agency, and I was just like, sometimes, and I think it's because I'm literally by myself like all day. Like, like Connor's home, but like he's working, so I'm just talking into a phone or doing whatever. And I'm learning this in therapy too. I just can't shut up. Like I literally. Like sometimes I'll leave places and I'm like, why did I say that? Like, why did I do that? Why did I say that? And
you like overshare sometimes in public settings or whatever.
Biggest oversharer. Like I am the, and I said that to my therapist. I'm like, it's not going to be an issue for you to get things out of me because I am the most open book that you'll ever.
Don't tell you a surprise.
Yeah. No,
don't tell like I will not tell you if I'm planning Connor's surprise party.
I know. Actually, I'm like really good. I'm really good with like people's secrets. Like I will never, because I feel like it's like a trust thing. Like I will never like share something. You know what I'm saying? If someone's coming to me for something, I'm not gonna share it to the next person. It's not for me to say. But like if it's a me thing, if it's like me, I'm like, I'll share to the whole world. I don't give a fuck. Like I'm like whatever. Like it doesn't matter to me.
It's almost like therapeutic probably too for you sometimes. No,
it is, but it's also like I need to create boundaries with myself. Like trust me, with all this wedding stuff, I'm like. People are like, when's the date? When's this? When's that? I'm like, I wish I could share with you guys. And
then being transparent, there's the positives of helping 99% of those people who are watching. Yeah. And that 1%, like, how are you dealing with those negativity?
People are so stupid sometimes. I honestly think that the algorithm, and this is what I say to my friends that like are going through it too, the algorithm doesn't know hate to like bad things to good things, I don't think, at least, you know? And so, like, to take everything with a grain of salt, like, at the end of the day, the people that are following you for a reason, like, they know you. They know who you are to your core. They know your values. They know all of this stuff. Let the good be good. And, like, the bad doesn't mean anything. Like, let's say, like, Connor said some of the shit that, like, these, like, people like, say, then it would hurt me, you know? But, like, they're just hurt people. So hurt people. And it's a projection. So I take it with a grain of salt. I'm like, whatever. All you're doing is pushing my content out to new other people.
You're helping me.
You're helping me. Yeah. And that's how I feel. I'm like, keep it up.
Yeah.
Keep it up.
And honestly, every time you post one, it actually gets me fired up. Like it actually bothers me. It truly does. Props to you for like, just, I don't know. It's
also just like normally like angry men. They're just mad. They're just mad. I'm like, okay.
Just a bunch of virgins just chilling in their house, dude. Lonely as hell. But you're right. Like, what do you have to be some type of negative person to legit write down a hate situation? It's like a negative Yelper.
I mean, I feel bad, you know? At the end of the day, I just feel bad for them and I hope...
You have empathy for them.
Yep. I hope the best for them. That's all I can do.
And then how about, what advice would you have for other content creators getting in this?
Staying true to yourself. And to not compare yourself to others because comparison is the thief of joy. So people will find you and will like you for you. And that's so important because you don't need to be like the next person. Like I love watching people's content, but it's not, and like I'm doing this right now on YouTube, but I'm trying to find my own voice. I'm not trying to copy anyone because like I'm enough with what I do, you know, and whether that is getting reach from one person to could be 100,000 people. At the end of the day, like if I'm making someone happy or making them think in a different way or feel good about themselves, that's all that matters to me. That's literally all that matters to me, and I'm doing my job.
Is there been ever like, because now that I feel even outside when you come to Obegon, there's like people outside. Even if we have a line of like 25 people, there's still like 4 of them saying something to you. What is that relationship like with fan interactions?
I don't think it's like fan though. You know what I'm saying? Like I think it's weird because again, there's like no. I feel like fans like are associated with someone that's like famous. I think it's just like really people, especially in Hoboken, New York City. It's like, and anywhere else, but like here when I'm like seeing people and saying hi to them, it's like very just like friends, you know? Like I know I can immediately tell when someone wants to say something. So I'll like, and
You're just like, say hi.
yeah, I'm like,
Hey.
and they do. And it's great because then I can like tell them everything about me, you know, and like have a conversation. Like I really and start oversharing again. And
But I think it's because of now the influencer. I was even saying this to somebody else. The influencer space is very interesting that like because people feel like they know you because of the journey and the process and you sharing certain milestones. Of course, you have to create that balance.
Yeah.
But I think that's what it is. Is there any like memorable or like heartwarming situation with any fans?
oh, I feel like in Hoboken, there was a couple. There's been a couple. I mean, I like all the interactions, but one of them was like this guy like yelling out the window, just being like, "Big Daddy!" Like I just like think it's just like so funny, like out of a car, like just it's just so funny to me. And then I was down at the pier one day, and this girl was like crying, and I was like, "Why are you crying? Like it's like I'm so normal. Like don't cry." And she's like, "You really have helped me so much," and I'm like, that right there, that's where I'm saying it's like the most fulfilling thing, like just the impact, you know. And that's why I think like with social is just, if you're going to post, like if you're aspiring to do this, like post stuff that you love and post things that are positive, because you don't know who you're going to impact. Like there's just too much negative crap already on there. And it's funny because like when people say, do you have things that, or try things that you don't like, you know? I'm like, yeah, I've tried things and I have videos on my phone that it's not like, I won't post because it's maybe not like I don't want to like put out a business, or not that I'm saying I would put out a business, but like saying that
something you don't connect with.
I don't connect with, and I'm like, I don't want to say anything negative. Like I don't in that way, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't want to put out that kind of content. But yeah, I mean, I feel like I've had the best interactions like ever.
Is there like an ideal, so the next ideal step seems like you really want to just be this positive impact on women or men with like potential like to feel loved and feel good about their bodies.
Yeah,
which is cool.
Just like everyone. Yeah,
I'm excited to see what the next projects that you create.
Yeah.
What's the difference between the influencer community and the local community? Is like different. Like, and then there's an influencer like not to put tears on this, but there's an influencer community in Hoboken, and then there's also one in New York City.
Yeah.
Like, what is that like?
I mean, I feel like everyone is so normal. Like everyone that I've met is so normal.
You're kind of the goat of Hoboken.
I don't think so.
With the influencer space,
I don't think so.
But you are. For real, you are. Within Hoboken, what do you think is missing?
In Hoboken?
Yeah.
Like for...
Like food and bev.
Oh, donuts.
I agree with that.
Oh my God, donuts.
I totally agree with that.
Like, where are they?
I might cut that.
Yeah, because you want to do it.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I already have a menu. I have everything lined up. Yeah.
You got to do it because, dude.
How often do I say it, Siege?
No, there's no one doing donuts.
And I feel like our brand is perfectly translates to that.
Yeah.
It's like, all right.
You have to do it. You have to do it.
That's what I was thinking.
Because I feel like there's nothing, I mean, I honestly can say this. I think that Hoboken has some of the best food ever, like truly ever. And if you disagree with that, like, I don't know.
Just fuck off.
Yeah, get some taste. No, I can't.
Step on your palate.
Cut it. I'm just kidding. Don't cut
We're not cutting that.
Oh, don't cut that. But I really do think that. But I think it's like, it's such a weird place because it's like bars and Italian, like
Yes.
and bagels.
Yes.
Bagel. Like every other corner is either a bar, an Italian spot, or a bagel spot.
Yes.
Like,
it needs to be more like heartbeat restaurants, I think.
Yeah.
You know what I mean by that? Meaning like having a culinary, like in terms like vision.
Yeah. I mean, like there are some great spots here that are different, but I think just food wise, I think it's definitely donuts and also like a good ice cream spot. Like Tarico needs to open up a spot in Hoboken so I don't have to go all the way to Jersey City every single time, which is not that far, but like.
No, I agree with that.
You know, like I need that.
Something like fun, something that has like, not just Ben and Jerry's.
Yeah.
Like there needs to be something within Hoboken. If you, happy hour round.
Yeah.
If you can have dinner with 3 people.
Ooh.
Who would they be?
Dead or alive?
Both.
No.
You do live.
Oh my gosh. I gotta think. Like, who would I have dinner with? I definitely think a seat at the table would be for my grandma because she's just the best. And then maybe like Harry Styles.
Okay. I love that.
And Taylor Swift.
That's a hell of a
Because
trio.
like that would be like a little drama. And then with my grandma there who like has no filter and will just say whatever she wants to say, I think it would be so funny.
That's an amazing trio right there. Quick fire, fun questions.
Mm-hmm.
Favorite dessert?
Favorite dessert? Probably ice cream, mint chocolate chip, pumpkin pie, coffee, chocolate sprinkles in a cone.
All of that in one. That sounds like an ideal dessert right there. Favorite season?
Favorite season? Winter, Christmas.
Celebrity crush?
Celebrity crush. I don't have one, to be honest with you.
Oh, Connor, you got a loyal one here.
I don't have one.
Favorite snack?
Favorite snack? Probably like Doritos. I don't eat them enough, but because I can't keep in the house or I'll eat them
Bag
all the
is
time.
done.
Yeah.
Last meal?
Last meal. I would do like an Outback like loaded baked potato with extra sour cream or something.
And that's why I love you, Kate. I appreciate you, Kate. Thank you.
Thank you for having me on. This was fun.
Absolutely. Much love.